In my world, we have started with research, physical mediums mainly. We're working now with Professor Kruse on working with sensors, light cameras, infrared, thermal, normal cameras. Um, I'm hoping very much, I spoke to Kai already, to maybe do a greater study with more physical mediums, to learn more about what is actually happening in physical mediumship today. I know that many people say, oh, well, you know, the old mediums did this, they could do this, we don't need a cabinet, we don't need to sit in the dark, we don't need to do this. Well, I believe who decides that? Either when we do research, I think why it is so difficult to work with research, especially physical mediums, is that our side of life just has taken total control of everything. They decide how the research will be done, what is expected of mediums, what they should do, how they should sit. Everybody should be the same, blah, blah. So it's not working that way. So how I learned is obviously through Gary Mannion's story, while most of my friends, like the physical mediums themselves, have been very comfortable in where they are. They sat in the cabinet, the spirit team came, they did their thing, they blew the trumpet, they had some touches, and they were happy with that. And so the spirit people were saying to us, we could not go any further. We could not experiment. One side of the community says we should have materialization. We should have this and that and that and the other because we had it 100 years ago. But the mediums themselves were quite set in their way. Now, they were happy with just letting, you know, slowly develop. I think Kai probably was the most excited about experiments from the lot. Gary was happy to have great seances, but that was it. Like no light, no camera, no nothing. And I think the others are the same. David, Scott, they all seem to be comfortable. And so now, when Gary's video happened, the next seance we had, he had, and I didn't know about it, he had told his team, you will not turn the light off. You will not, in any circumstances, put me in the dark. So they did. We had a whole hour and a half, ectoplasm, you know, running out of all orifices, but all in light. He was so sick for 4 weeks. But it forced him to go, okay, this is my rules, this is what I want. So now they are doing, you know, light, they're doing darkness, they switch it up. But all the other mediums suddenly have more light because they had somebody to show them, well, you know, really, you're not going to die when there's light. So if it is very little, which it starts slowly, it doesn't even do anything to your health. So they got a start. The spirit people want to educate and they want to move forward. They want materialization for the reason that another war is coming. There is a need for physical mediumship coming up. And also, there is a blending now between mental mediumship, trance, and physical. Like I have now people, Louise is one of them, you know, Karen, they have actually an overshadowment within their mental mediumship. People can see a face on them. They have knocks, they have apports. So it is a total blending of mediumship, I believe. And when we ask what is my part in it, it is, they always just say education, education. But in my case is I don't learn really well from reading a book, or it's just really hard. I really have to experience. So I always wondered in the 10 years, I probably have sat with maybe 20 different mediums, physical mediums, in one form or another. And people will say to me, oh, Inge, you're so lucky. Now, that's not true. I wasn't lucky, but I was chasing it. I would go to Europe to sit with Kai. I mean, I saw my mom as well, but still, I would make it possible when he had seances that I could be there. Or, you know, I went to England, to Fiber Hill, to sit once with Stuart, just to experience it. You know, like I had written a list for all the learning I had with different people. But it was like, and communicators would say, for many different mediums, would say, you are part of a plan. And I go, you know what? Don't tell me about a bloody plan if you don't tell me the plan. Because, you know, I want to know what the plan is, but they wouldn't. For the reason that I need to obviously do the learning, then actually really feel it, and then I can pass it on. So in Malaysia now, we have weekends where the professor from Germany comes. Now we have some interest from a few in America, some who are related to universities here who do studies. So I think it just opens more and more when I just stand back and not do anything, just watch it. More and more it opens that the right people, or people with the right interest in what I have an interest in, you know, come forward now and say, oh, well, you know, can we do this? Can we, you know, can we maybe test some mediums? At the moment, it's only Gary who is constantly tested. But because he has nothing to lose, he has lost everything. So for him, it doesn't really matter. You know, as long as you don't kill me, you do whatever you need to do, which is an awesome, none of the others yet have it, but they can see what is happening. They stand back and they see and they go, oh, well, you know, maybe senses, you know, senses is senses. It's just a reading. So it's nothing about their mediumship, because today, as a medium, and I see it on Facebook all the time, it is a bloody witch hunt. Any medium, mental medium, physical medium, trance medium, she's not in trance, that's all bullshit. He is not really a medium. Non-stop, it's so easy to destroy a medium. I saw it the other day. Somebody had a bad reading. They felt that it wasn't done properly what the guy said. They put his name up, they put his address up, they put everything up. And it was a second-hand report and no name to it, nothing. So one day before Christmas, they put that out about a medium in England. So what he is not so strong? What if he harms himself because he suddenly gets attacked as a deviant? Yeah, you see, I just want to make sure that there is enough education what actually happens in trance, even in mental, how they blend, that it is not the same as it was 100 years ago. You know, we need to see them as people. You know, that drove Gary to nearly suicide. And it's okay because he's only a young man, or we don't understand what happened there, but don't worry about it. This is where we are with our spiritualism. So now the spirit teams want to split science and religion. It's not working the way we're doing it. We're not moving forward. We just destroy every physical medium who is working. I have had contact with over my time, and every one of them is in a constant, people just destroy them on social media, because why not? Because I know it all. So let's destroy these little buggers. It's really sad. Sorry, I'm going on myself. Sorry.
Inge, that is wonderful. We need that passion, and I totally agree with you. The virulence of so many people out there is absolutely appalling. We've had a question. Did you say there's another war?
Yes, a third world war is coming, and when my son asked about it, he is 20 now, 19. The answer was, your mother will not experience. I'm 61 now, but you will. You definitely will. And he goes, is there a chance it's going to change? And they said, well, it's very highly in humanity's future that they just not seem to be learning.
Well,
but the reason that they create, physical mediums come out of the woods. I have 10 developing physical mediums here. You see, so there is an onslaught of people. Maybe it is also that people now really like the idea. They're all gone underground. So as sitters, as just general sitters, say, they don't get even the opportunity to sit with physical mediums anymore. Like in England, there's Scott. That's it. That's the only, Bill. But Bill does not sit very often, yeah? But so now Gary and Kai sit in Somerset. So there's always lots of people want to sit because they're saying there is no opportunity for us to even learn about it. It's no opportunity to get that experience to sit. So education is on their main agenda for mediumship. From all the teams I have heard, they say education. Why do we do it? How do we do it? How does this happen? How do we create phenomena? What does it take us to build materializations? So Eckhart, professor from Germany, he has started to have a private page where he starts from senses, from, say, he has a camera running and the team just takes the whole tent of Gary and throws it onto the ground while everyone can see him tied in, yes? So they want then us to ask, how did you do this? How did you get that tent off him? Or how did you start to develop this little girl we have coming and wants to materialize? So she is 3/4 there. So how do you do this? Why is the ectoplasm black? Because people on social media say, no, it's not black, it's white. No, actually, no. The raw ectoplasm is black. Then people have, how do you know that you work with ET? When I have my little friend, who is a spirit friend, when the ET's energy moves in, she loses her link. How is that? Why is that? Does that affect physical mediumship? Yes, it does. Because when I had the Zetas in my place, they had done a sitting. David came to do a sitting after the same night. So the Zeta said to me, remind him to reset the energy. Anyway, so I said, oh, you know, David, I know you need to reset the energy. He goes, what a lot of bullshit. We don't need to do that. Okay, no worries. So that night when he said, Tim, is it Timmy?
Timmy, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He could not get the communicators right. Yeah, he just couldn't. And you could hear William saying to him, what is going on? And he said, I don't know what the interference is. I just cannot get it right. Well, that was my learning. The Zetas were right. Yes, it interferes. Then when I was sitting, then they showed me coming in, I'm losing my link. So it's just learning by experience, and more and more spirit groups now and mediums acknowledge that there is the ones who work with the mediums, then there are different vibrations, but different layers of knowledge. And it filters down. They get told what they can do, what not. They come in a seance, and we had a recorder on, and the recorder never goes on with light. Yeah, it was in a bag. I had it hanging above me, and God behold, the recorder light goes on. Yeah, and I'm sitting here, and on the side next to me is a person, peaceful, but the face is very, very clear. Maybe 1.50 m tall, coming past me, grabbing for the recorder, with the light go on. And we both like, oh my God, he is as shocked as me, like as shocked as me. And then you hear this whoosh, gone, yeah? And so all the sisters go, oh my God, what was that? What was that? So I don't know what it was. And then Jimmy comes and said, that was our learning. Don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong, nothing. This was a learning for us, where the next level of our team who give us instructions wanted to make us aware that we need to be more diligent. So there is so much to learn. And if we can just work with them, we're just going to learn so much. Instead of judging, destroying, knowing it all, living by 100 years ago, you know, the whole world has moved forward. Everything has moved forward the last 50 years. And we think, no, mediumship needs to stay the same. They're dead, they need to work for us, they need to show us. No, it's not happening. That's my
Inge, that is so exciting. You and I talked earlier about you running a group on Zoom. Can you tell us what you would like to do with that?
I would love to have a group with people who just want to learn, where we can share what we experienced, how we learned. Jimmy is happy to come in. I'm still working on Hans. The communicators having a turn. So you can ask them, how do you do this? How did this happen? What has happened in my group? Like when we do trance sittings here, people come and say, why is my mediumship not moving forward? And Jimmy will go, let me go into your field, and then he will help them. So it is just like, they're so willing to educate. They're so willing to teach us. But it has to be true. I cannot be censored because unfortunately I have a very good filter. I just say it how it is. And people often don't like it because it maybe doesn't go into the lovey-dovey side. It doesn't go into the angels. It doesn't, I just say it, what I experienced and what I learned from it. And so I just want a group which really is like learning stories from all the people who come, learning stories. I was asked in 2015, before Gary's film, always now before and after. In 2015, I was asked to set up a research center. And I said, I know nothing about research, so really, I don't know I'm the right person. They said, you will. We bring you the right people. So they have brought forward, they said, the money is already in your world to be used. If you use that money, what will come for anything else than what we have ordered, we done. So I went, yeah, that's sensible, that makes sense. And they said education is so needed in your world for us work, for us to move forward with your world. And there's an endless amount of underground physical mediums are developed now. So he said, you don't hear from them because we made sure that they did not go out so early, that this doesn't repeat itself. So I would like it to be like learning stories, yeah? We learn from each other or from the spirit people, not from what we think we already know. Just honesty. Say it as it is. If you have a problem with me or you have a problem with Gary's story, just say it. Ask him, ask Jimmy, ask other teams. You know, the only true support we have got in Malaysia after Gary's story is from all the different spirit teams who work with other mediums. Not from the mediums, not by any means. But when we would go somewhere, they would always bring it up and said, you are really working for our side. And that's not saying, oh, look at me, look at me. It's not. But that's the only support we got was from those we want to work